Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Knife Chats with Tobias. Okay, I thought what I'd talk about today is this knife. This is a new one from Rough Ryder. It's in their Rough Ryder Reserve line, and they refer to this as the RRR 051 Congress. And I know if you're looking at that, you're going, that doesn't look like a Congress. And because, well, this is usually what you expect in a Congress or a skinnier version of this, but you're expecting that sway back. You know, if you set the knife down on a flat surface, you'll have that daylight going in underneath there. See that? That's what you usually think of when you see Congress in the name of the knife. There's some space underneath there from bolster to bolster. It's got a little sway in the back. This one, not so much. It's kind of rounded on the bottom, so it's almost the reverse of what you expect in a Congress. I think the reason they're referring to this as a Congress is because of the blade choices that are on the knife. Typically, when a person thinks of a Congress, they think of the handle shape or the frame. You know, the frame of the knife is what determines it to be a Congress, and then you have those blades on there. I'm guessing in this case, the company that made this just went with the blade options on the knife and referred it as a Congress as opposed to considering the frame of it. So the blades on here are in line with what you would find on your typical Congress. Well, more or less. I mean, these are not the most common blades for a Congress knife, but they probably fall in second place when it comes to a Congress knife. What I mean by that is, here's this Congress, and this has the most common blades that people expect to see on a Congress knife. Starting from the front, you have a pin blade over on the right side here, and on the opposite side, you have a sheepfoot blade. And when we flip the knife around, you have a coping blade now on the back right side, and again, a sheepfoot blade opening from the opposite side, all four blades dropping to the middle. Other Congress knives have a blade set that is not quite like this. Now, it looks like they're going to start off about the same. You see there are four blades. They're all dropping down through the middle, two on each side. You start off with a pin blade on the right side here. And depending on if this is the front or back, I mean, both sides are pretty much equal. But you have, now you notice you have a spear blade on the right side. And we flip it around. We have another pin blade. And then we have a sheepfoot blade. So in the case of this knife, we have two pin blades and then a sheepfoot and a spear master blade. Now this knife follows suit to what the Stoneworks knife here has. In that in the front side here, oh man, it's kind of hard to open. It has a pin blade, but if you noticed, the pin blade is opening on the opposite side. And then on the right side, you have the spear blade. And on the back side of the knife, again, opening kind of backwards to what you have on a typical Congress, you have another pin blade. And finally, you have the sheepfoot blade. So those are the blades you have on here. They're arranged the exact opposite of the way you would normally find the blades on a Congress knife. But the blades are typical of some Congress knives. All in all, this is, you know, a Rough Ryder Reserve. The build quality is exactly what you expect from that. Really nice, tight tolerances going on. You can see how close all those blades are dropping, yet I'm not having any blade rub happen. Yeah, you can see there, no blade rub. Yeah, no blade rub with that blade hitting there. And you've got all the swedges and everything. The one thing I noticed is, if you can see here, there is some staining going on there, and that is from where the knife was oiled in the factory. So the tobacco bone, I think that's the color they're calling this one, might be amber bone, I don't know. But there is definitely some staining there. It might wash out as the oil leaches around. It usually will lighten a little bit, but you do notice you've got that nice streak going down the middle there. And that is just the natural way the bone took the dye there. I guess that's the natural way the bone took the oil. You can see a little darkening there too. I like the staining. I wish the oil stain wasn't there, but it's the way it is. Got a triple ring nickel silver bolster, and those are nickel silver pins, as well as a nickel silver shield going there. You do have a brass spacer running down the middle there, and then you have the scale underneath the cover here. Notice the bolsters there. Triple ring, no, double ring. I thought it was triple at first, but it's a double ring bolster going on. Fit into the bolsters is really smooth. Got a little bit of chamfering going along the edge here, so that is nice too. Nice thin bone going on. All in all, just a gorgeous little knife. My only complaint about it really is the pull on the smaller blades. These pin blades have a pretty strong pull, and yeah, they're nail breaker, especially because of how low they fit into the handle. So they are a little tricky to get open, and you could very easily break a nail on it. That is my only negative on the knife. Yeah, both of those are a little harder to open than the larger blades. You can see the cutouts here. Now, when I was down at SMKW, I was talking to Brian Wilhoit. This knife came right out of a catalog. All they did was bring it back to life using modern build technology and such. So it's got the different kinds of washers in there, the half stops going on, and everything else. But these cutouts were in the original handles of this knife. So the dimensions are the same as the original and everything else. And the cutouts on both sides were there. So, and it does help to keep the blades low in the handle. And it does help you to get to this nail nick here to pull it out. The problem with these nail nicks, the smaller nail nicks, because of how strong the pull is, I wish they would not have used a match strike pull, because the match strike pull just isn't deep enough on these blades. If it was a little bit deeper, you'd be able to get more nail into the nick, and it would be a little easier to open, because it really is a chore to get out those small blades. At least for me. Other people might have less problems. Getting to the big blades, no issues at all. Same depth in the nail nick. It's just you gotta because, well, larger blade, a little further out, you got a little bit more leverage going on pulling the blade out. Those nicks on these small blades, it's a difference of turning this blade. Let's say this blade is like a 5. These small blades are like a 7. They're much harder to open, and for some people, they're going to be even more difficult than they are for me. So that's my only negative on this knife. Hopefully, they will come out with this pattern again and maybe address the pull on these knives, because it is a little tricky. But otherwise, just a gorgeous knife. I really do like it. And it's one of those knives that is really going to go into the collection, but probably not too often in the pocket, simply because the pull on the smaller blades is just too difficult for me to use. Might not be the same for you, and it might be, I'm working on a sample size of one. Other people's may not have the same pull that mine have. But all in all, a gorgeous knife, really well made. just a little bit stiff on the pull on the small blades. That would be my very quick wrap up on the knife. With that said, I will shoot over to some slides and I'll let you go. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me take just a second to thank you once again for dropping by and spending a few minutes here at Knife Chats with the Pious. I really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave. So please remember to give me that thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and running. Thanks again for dropping by. Really do appreciate your time here.